This must be the revenge day for Trump-appointed judges and Republican-appointed judges to rule against the Trump administration, because we have got a new ruling by Royce Lamperth against the Trump administration about how they're not following his orders to restore the voice of America, that all-important radio and media outlet around the world, to a credible news organization. That's the one that's run by Kari Lake. Remember her? The election denier, the conspiracy theorist, the one that ran for Arizona governor, senator, lost all of them, former right-wing MAGA, some sort of media figure. Yeah, that Kari Lake. She's also the de facto head of the organization that runs the Voice of America, the voice of fill in the blank. These were all used by predecessors of Donald Trump to promote America's interest around the world. You know, if you're the leader of the free world, you got to have a voice. You got to be heard. You need people to want to follow the American brand of democracy and follow America. And you do that through things like the internet, radio, social media, podcasts, all under Voice of America. So Royce Lamperth, several months ago, ordered the restoration through funding and through personnel of Voice of America. But the plaintiffs have now run back to court and told him they're not complying. The Trump administration's not complying. What a surprise. So Judge Lamperth issued an order to show cause, and he wanted answers filed in the case to his questions. And now I'm going to catch you up on why this is so close to contempt. I'm not that close to contempt. Neither are you. We're together on Legal AF, the YouTube channel. Take a minute. Really, pop out, hit that free subscribe button. It really does help us. Let me read to you from Judge Lamperth's order, which just came out. And this is courtesy of Democracy Forward. That's a group founded by Sky Perryman. They have their own playlist here on Legal AF. Just look for it under Democracy Forward. All my interviews with Sky Perryman about all the cases they filed, over 80 cases. 90% of them are more successful against the Trump administration and allowing billions and billions of dollars of funding to flow back to people in need. That's Democracy Forward. And they just obtained their order here. This is the judge's order on page 1. On April 22nd, the court entered a preliminary injunction which enjoined the defendants, and in other words, required them, a mandatory injunction, to restore Voice of America programming such that it can fulfill its statutory mandate that Voice of America serve as a consistently reliable and authoritative source of news, April 22nd. But after the defendants were called out by the plaintiffs to the judge got the sinking feeling that Voice of America is not really being operated, if at all. So on July 30th, the court entered an order to show cause. That's what federal judges do. And this is what he wanted answers to by a date certain. Explain, this is to the Trump administration, order to show cause. Explain how, since April 22nd, the defendants have complied with the preliminary injunction, how the defendants have restored programming such that it's producing and broadcasting news consistent with the International Broadcasting Act in each relevant medium, radio, television, online content, how the defendants' actions are consistent with congressional appropriations, whether the defendants have notified Congress of their significant reduction in broadcast hours, identify the precise number of employees who have been recalled, produce all the documents about their plan to restore, and all of that. And Judge Lamperth, again, a Republican judge in the District of Columbia, took one look at the answers and said, yeah, that's not going to do. So the court has carefully studied, he says, the defendants' responses and the reasons raised, finding that the defendants' responses failed to provide the information ordered in the order to show cause. So he's giving them one last opportunity, and he references a contempt trial. To allow the defendants one final opportunity, short of a contempt trial, to provide such explanation, he then ordered Kari Lake and 2 others to sit for a 7-hour deposition by no later than September 15th and schedule it. He will hold in abeyance any ruling on further coercive action until he sees the results of those depositions. So they are in deep shit. I mean, that's not quite a legal term, but you understand my meaning. I am sure they've done nothing to comply with the preliminary injunction. This is the first step towards a contempt trial. If the judge finds them in contempt, and this again is an order that has not been appealed to the Supreme Court, there's no block of this order, there's no appellate court telling Judge Lampert that he was wrong. He's in the driver's seat, he's in the catbird seat. And now he's telling the rest of the Kari Lakes of the world, stop effing with federal judges and preliminary injunctions. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to get that deposition somehow by September 15th. It's not going to go well for Kari Lake. I'm just guessing. But I assure you, having been on this end of the deposition, that the lawyers are going to have a lot of fun with her. She's not going to be prepared. She's going to get annoyed. She's going to try to put on that smarmy smile of her, that Fox News smile of her, and it's not going to go over well. And then more importantly, it's going to be videotaped, I'm sure, because that's what I would do, especially if you're worried about somebody acting out and being out of control. You put a big, nice screen behind them. You get a videographer to set up a video camera, right? You mic them. You sit her down. And now you have video evidence you can use with the judge. And now one of my most famous depositions, where I deposed Kanye West, you can go find it online. We had him under video depo for a reason, because when he flamed out and started to be abusive, we took that video deposition and sent it right to the federal judge in California. And the federal judge within hours got us in an emergency hearing. And she started the hearing with, I'm not sure what that was, but we'll call it a deposition for now. And then I won everything I asked for in that type of hearing. Same thing's going to happen here. Kari Lake's going to flame out. She's going to crap the bed. They're going to take that deposition transcript and that video, and they're going to send it in to Judge Lampert, and he's going to find, no, that didn't do it. Okay, I understand. You're not complying, and now I'm going to give permission to the other side to bring a motion for contempt, which I will entertain. That's where we're heading. You know, it's funny. We covered a lot of these stories. There's so many of them with the Trump administration, right? You need a Legal AF YouTube channel. You need a Midas Touch. You need a Legal AF Substack just to keep track of it all. But we covered this very story back in April when he issued the injunction as a win for democracy, as a win for fair-minded and free-thinking people. But we got to leave it up to the lawyers that are in the room, like Democracy Forward, to make sure that the Trump administration is complying with orders. And now that they're not, and now that the judges got involved and figured out that they're not, because the order to show cause responses were so pathetic, he's given them one more chance. These depositions, these are going to cook Kari Lake's goose. And what I want to do is, after the depositions and after this inevitable motion for contempt is filed, I'll bring back Sky Perryman for Democracy Forward, who brought this case, to talk about it and brief our audience about it. In the meantime, go over to Democracy Forward's playlist on Legal AF YouTube. You're here already, and you'll see the other interviews I've done with her about the 80 or so cases she's litigating and the 90% success rate that they are having against the Trump administration. While I've got you, head over to the Legal AF Substack. I'm doing daily lives on Legal AF Substack. And I'm bringing together 2,000-3,000 people to talk about something at the moment, at the market, that's very important to all of us. That's another community to join in parallel to the Legal AF YouTube community. So until my next report, I'm Michael Popok. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or a oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting. We got interviews. We got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. Where? Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.